You see, you can appear quite brilliant, very able, simply by getting one or two things right yourself. I surmise that they are that God is your dad, and that to think on whatsoever is good and lovely brings you to know him better, the fastest way. And that brings you ever towards life eternal. That's something of the bedrock from which I understand everything else accordingly, as far as I know. There's great trust, but of course it does need to be trust in what is ideally fundamentally right. And in a sense, you only have to get those things right, and the rest automatically follows. And you're floundering around on many byroads until you finally get those right. Life handles what is before it according to what it's experienced in the past and been given to believe. And we find for our peace of mind that it's a great help to trust that God does exist and is wonderfully benevolent, our dearest friend, perhaps our dad. And that he's wonderful God, more wonderful than we can really imagine, but we try to. And therefore we move in that direction, and our experiences accordingly, which reveals more. That's the basic structure. Pretty straightforward. Don't think you'd quite call that a religion. You could say that's a sort of basis of belief. Hopefully, a very good one. Taste and see. Bless you. Thank you, Dad. Well, I should add that you get great encouragement on the way. And if you've got your basic foundation wrong, you get great discouragement. Trouble and woe and chaos and all sorts of disasters. And it automatically leads you to reevaluate, to look for something better. And then you might hear something that crystallizes what that is. And you make a leap forward. It can be dramatic. It can be, what's emphasized in evangelical Christianity, a conversion. And a complete turnaround of the whole personhood to something lovely, something wonderful. In a moment of time, in a flash of insight, a blinding light as we have of St. Paul on the road. But do be careful, because you can get the reverse too, and I've had the frightening experience of a couple of people like that, but much too close a range. They turn from being an angel to being demon. I'm using colourful language to make it vivid for you, but it's as dramatic as that. Simply awful. So take care, love. My experience is that trusting in God being Heavenly Dad tremendous blessing. And you'll find that comes of happiness. Perhaps it can come from despair, but I found it came from overwhelming happiness. Being in love. Being alive somehow to everything that's good. I'm completely preoccupied with such. Rescues me daily from a world that would throw all sorts of things at me to give me good practice. Thank you, Dad. Love you. My experience is that he will encourage you greatly with miracles, synchronicities, just goodness. Bless you, and you are blessed. As I understand it, there's no way you'd be listening to me if you weren't so blessed.